When I met my husband, I already had a million and one issues with food. So as you know already, I suffered with bulimia, anorexia, and I met my husband in October 2022. And that is the same month that my sister died. And I remember when she died, I immediately, literally the day she died, I immediately said to myself, no more eating disorders. And coincidentally, I met my husband. And when you meet someone who makes you so happy and literally changes your world and helps you grieve in a completely beautiful and amazing way, takes your pain away, makes every single day amazing, loves you, supports you, is unconditionally in love with you and appreciates you for who you are, it is so hard not to eat, okay? Food has always been my comfort blanket. Even when I was suffering with grief to the point of despair, I was still eating, okay? I remember being at my sister's funeral and I still ate. Nothing can shut off my appetite. There isn't anything on the earth, I think, that could ever get rid of my appetite, which is so frustrating sometimes. And this is never spoke about. No one ever admits this. There's some people in this world, including me, who can just eat through any storm. And I always felt like that was something that was my downfall, because even breakups or painful situations like my sister passing away, the worst thing that could ever happen to me, didn't stop me eating. So when we met, eventually I just turned to food. And because I wasn't purging the food and because I wasn't withholding the food, my now husband took me on these amazing holidays. He took me to all these amazing restaurants. Obviously we were courting, we were dating, and I was eating the whole menu. This man is the most generous, kindest feeder you will ever meet. Like, he just looked after me and scooped me up in his arms and fed me. And I wasn't able to say no because I was grieving. And when you're in a relationship, regardless of if you're grieving or not, when you get into a relationship that is happy, exciting, amazing, maybe you've gone through trauma in your past, maybe you've gone through an abusive relationship and you're finally in a happy relationship, maybe you've been let down, maybe you've been with someone who's tortured you mentally or physically, whether you've gone through a good relationship or a bad relationship, when you finally get with someone who is incredible and amazing, who makes you feel safe, loved, secure, peaceful, you want to let go. All your boundaries and expectations in a negative light go down and you suddenly feel safe. And when you feel safe and happy and loved and secure, even if it's not a relationship that you're in, if you're with a happy friend, or if you're a happy man or a woman, or whether you've got a new pet, or whether you're in a safe environment, you automatically want to do something that makes you feel happy. And for most people, that is eating. And yeah, I gained in just under a year 3.5 stone. And I know exactly how I gained that weight. I can tell you for free how I gained that weight, okay? I know which meals I ate. I know how much I was eating of it. As soon as I opened my eyes in the morning, I was eating food. And the last thing I did before I went to bed was eat, okay? I became a food addict. And it's because I'd spent 15 years of my life constantly restricting myself. And because my husband was making me so happy, and because I was masking all of this grief and pain and I wanted to heal in the right way, instead of communicating how I felt, I was just eating my feelings. And you know what? I've spoken about this before on my channel, but I don't regret it. I don't regret getting fat. I don't regret being obese. I don't regret healing in that way. But it's about realizing, right, okay, is this the right thing for me to do now? And I remember being with my partner and I just looked in the mirror and I was like, this isn't the woman that he fell in love with. Like, I'm not the woman that he met a year ago. I'm not that woman. And even though my husband is the most amazing man ever and loves me for who I am and always said I was beautiful no matter what size I was, I didn't look at myself and feel like the woman that he married. And it was because I was 3.5 stone overweight. And I remember thinking, I can either keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and just accepting that this is the size I am, and if he loves me for me, he's gonna love me no matter what size I am, because eventually one day I wanted to get pregnant, you know, I wanted babies, and obviously I wasn't gonna be stick thin for that, you know, you gain weight in pregnancy. So I was like, well, he's just gonna have to deal with me for who I am and what I look like, or I can do this for me. I can do this because I want to look in the mirror and feel like me again. And that was my awakening to lose the weight. I didn't want to be the girl whose sister had died and she just got fat and she settled and she was happy in a relationship. I wanted to be Annie again. I wanted to reclaim who I was, to have my identity back. Because when you get into a relationship, quite often you lose your identity. And although my husband loves me and loved me back then for who I was in that present moment and would never have judged my body no matter what size I was, it was not viable for me to continue to live like that, because I didn't recognise myself in the mirror, regardless of if he loved me or not. And I remember thinking, what am I currently doing in my life that is not healthy? First of all, it was the food. I was eating like I'd never seen food before. I was stuffing every single thing into my mouth that I possibly could find, which is not the right thing to be doing. Secondly, I was not moving, okay? I was laid in bed for hours, days on end, eating and laying in bed, not doing anything. I wasn't depressed. I was just enjoying my life in bed. Okay, I was watching Netflix, I was watching Amazon Prime, I was watching everything you could think of, but I wasn't moving my body. I think I was averaging maybe 200 steps a day, and I would be working from home some days. My husband would go to work and he'd come back and he'd find me in the exact same spot that I was in, because even though in my head I wasn't depressed, that was my way of coping, and food was my band-aid. So eventually when I decided right now is the time to lose the weight, I knew exactly what I needed to do, which was the opposite of what I was doing. I needed to move more and eat different foods, okay? It's never about eating less. It's just about eating different foods. And on my other social channels, I always do now my dish up videos now that I've lost the weight. I always show you guys what I eat, and I show what I eat and what my husband eats. And majority of the time, we are eating very similar meals, but I'm eating either a different quantity of what we've both got, or I'm eating stuff with different substitutions. So I'll swap normal rice for cauliflower rice, for example, or I'll swap chips for salad. And this sounds like a really depressing life, but sometimes you have to remember that when you're in a relationship, okay, when you're with a good man, they are going to love you regardless of what you look like. I could look like a bush and my husband would still love me. And I can say that on God, okay? I know that man is going to love me no matter what I look like, because we have a soulmate connection, we need each other, we long for each other, we adore the bones off each other, and we bonded through our mutual loss of loved ones and helped each other grieve through it. And we are like the male and female version of each other. We literally are extremely compatible. So physicalities never have come into it. But when you really, really deep the situation about relationship weight gain, you realize that it really is fundamentally for you, okay? Losing that weight should be done through love and affection for yourself. You should never look in the mirror and be like, I can't believe my husband has to deal with me, I can't believe he has to sleep with me, there's so many more attractive women out there, I can't believe he has to be in a relationship with me, I'm so fat. When you bully yourself and torture yourself like that, all that's going to do is make your partner look at you and not find you attractive, because your confidence levels are on the floor. Men are, in the nicest possible way, men deserve you for who you are and who you want to be. And if you're not who they want you to be, then you don't need to be with that man. And I didn't change what I looked like to be with my husband. I changed what I looked like because I didn't feel like me. And the right man will love you no matter what you look like and no matter what size you are. But on top of not looking like how I wanted to look, I didn't feel like how I wanted to look. And my husband understood that. And there was many nights while I was losing weight, my husband saying to me, just skip the gym tonight, just get a takeaway tonight. And I remember saying, no, I would rather not spend time with you and go to the gym, because I need to do that to make me feel like me. You know, there is absolutely no point living your life worrying about what someone else is going to think of you and what someone else is going to, if someone else is going to love you because of what you look like, because that's never the right fundamental foundations for a relationship. A relationship should always be you being happy in you and them being happy with them, and then you come together as two people. When you get into a relationship, you have two choices. You can either get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, or just stay the exact same, eat the same as your partner, keep dishing up the same meals, keep getting takeaways, explore each other's love languages by trying new foods around the world, and essentially let yourself go and be happy together. Or you can think rationally, which is something that I didn't do at the time because I did the first one. But the latter is thinking rationally and thinking, right, okay, we are different sizes, we are different people, we do not need the same amount of food. I can make healthy choices and healthy swaps so that we can still enjoy each other's time, date nights, going out for meals, Netflix and chill, ordering snacks to the house, Deliveroo, etc. But knowing that I'm a different person and I need different nutrients and different foods and different meals and different portion sizes. Now, it's not always easy to get into a relationship and go straight to the rational thinking. So I always say, if you go down the route of just getting bigger and bigger and bigger straight away in a relationship, that is okay. Why are we punishing ourselves for this? The important part is waking up and realizing, right, okay, I think I've let myself go and I need to just sort this out for me. And if you don't want to sort it out, that is absolutely fine, because you are your own person, and that man who's with you should and will love you for who you are. And if they don't, they're not the right man for you, because every single choice and decision you make should be for you. You know, my mantra is 100% about getting healthy and being healthy, and letting yourself go, in my opinion, for someone else is wrong. I will never ever think that that is okay. But letting yourself go for you while you navigate a new relationship or a new experience is okay, in my opinion, because you're experiencing something new, and not everyone can think rationally when they're experiencing something new. You know, they get lost in it like I did. So I think now that I've lost the weight, I will say, on a finishing note, my relationship has thrived after I lost the weight. I do feel like our relationship is better now that I've lost the weight, because I am better. I love myself more than I've ever loved myself before. I am confident, I am happy, I show up for myself, I love myself. All my changes that I've made were for me. They were selfishly done for me. I was completely and utterly the most selfish person in my relationship for a whole year of my life because I prioritized me. I only cooked for myself. I made sure that I was well fed. I made sure that I'd been to the gym. I made sure that I, at the end of the day, had ticked off my boxes. And that was because I knew eventually, like I do feel now, I would feel happiness and relief. And if I was going to give any advice to someone who was in the same situation as I, who had gained the 3.5 stone in a relationship over whatever period of time or however much weight you gain, do it for you, but do it. You don't have to. But that's my advice. It will change your life. It will change the way you move, the way you show up for yourself, the way you eat, the way you view food, the way you view relationships, takeaways, nights in together, nights out together. It's made my partner love me even more because I prioritize myself in a way that he's never even seen before. And I think that gives him a newfound respect for me. He knows he's not getting anything unless I'm prioritized first. And I love that about myself because I do deserve that. I deserve to be number one in my world because it's my world. And I can't pour from an empty cup if I feel like shit every day. You can't pour from an empty cup if you feel like shit every day. You can't pour from an empty cup if you hate the sight of your reflection. You can't pour from an empty cup when all you do is berate yourself because you eat like crap every day and you have poor night's sleep, you have bad digestion, you're constantly bloated, you constantly have disrupted mood swings. And when I fixed my health and prioritized my activity levels, life changed. Shock. So don't punish yourself if you're in that situation and you've gained weight in a relationship. Just change yourself through love. Not bullying, not nastiness, not hate. And learn to understand that you're doing it for you, not for your partner, but it will improve your relationship and it will make you feel 10 times more confident and amazing in you, for you.